Sherilyn Guerrero, which is the daughter of the legendary wrestler Eddie Guerrero, put forth some serious allegations toward her mother's, Vickie Guerrero's, new husband. So we're gonna get into all of that on the
It
show
sound
right
like
now.
drama already right there.
Yo, Space Gang. Welcome to a brand new episode of the BK Spadez Show. I am your host, the BK Spadez, and I am here with my very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby.
All right. I am back, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back.
I know,
Welcome
right?
back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
In all honesty, I have to say, I know we ain't doing all the business side right now, skipping it right now. I just want to say that I am extremely proud of you. You
Aw.
did a really great job. I enjoyed the episode from start to finish, and I can't wait for you to try that solo dolo thing again.
I am excited to try it again. Okay, like when I was done, I was like, I know it got a little awkward at the end, but I was like, I really just did that. I was looking at the timer. I was looking at all of, like, I hit every single point I needed to make. It was just, I don't know. I guess I was just so scared to do it by myself. I guess I don't know. And you remember I told you, I'm gonna say it again. I never really thought of podcasting until you introduced me to it. So like doing it by
Yeah,
myself was a whole other type of experience. But I would love to do solo dolo again.
yeah, man. It's fun. It can be challenging because you're like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? But once you get in your groove, oh man, it's great. It's almost therapeutic in a sense. So I think we should probably start right at the video that she dropped. Now I'm not gonna play. It was a
She dropped it,
TikTok.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
she dropped it on her TikTok, and I do not have in my notes exactly where it is. I'm gonna put it in the description where the video came from because I think I got it from Twitter. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna actually play her video. I'm only gonna play the audio, and I put a picture up so you guys can see what she looks like. But this is Sherilyn Guerrero's words of what happened to her. I let her tell you in this video.
Not feel like I'm keeping this giant secret. Okay. So come 2020, right before COVID, there was a cruise that my family had went on. And basically on this cruise, I got sexually assaulted. And the unfortunate part is that it was by my stepdad. Yeah, it was by my stepdad. And was I the only one? No, but that's not my business to put their story out there. But it happened to me.
So yeah, that was the big bombshell over the past week or so. Um, they always talk about
Dang.
how you get like big news after the WrestleMania week, and I don't think anybody was expecting any type of story like that. So, what are your thoughts on that? Just that little nugget right there.
That little nugget right there. Whew. That was definitely a bomb. Of course, I'm always going with the sympathy side of things. Sorry to hear that she and others, you know, had to endure that. So that
Yeah,
sucks.
it's crazy. They've been married since like 2015.
The she and the husband.
Yeah, his name is I don't even know. I'm gonna say it, I guess, because everybody else. It's not like this is
Say his
breaking news.
name.
His name is Chris Benson
Chris Vincent.
with the B.
Oh,
Um,
Benson.
this it's been a weird turn of events because usually when things like this come out, the first thing that happens is you do the victim blaming and the victim shaming. And I didn't see a lot of that, which is great, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it wasn't a whole. It was some though. I'm not saying it wasn't any, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as widespread as it usually is. So big ups to society for growing up a little bit. Um, should we just get to Vickie's response? Because I think
Please.
after that response, when I jumped on the bandwagon of what's going on, like when I seen it happen in pretty much real time, it was like F Vickie Guerrero all around Twitter. So, and I was like, and this is before she responded. So let's talk about what she said after she responded, and let's talk about the reaction afterwards. So these, what I'm about to read to you is Vickie Guerrero's words
Mm-hmm.
from her Instagram account. There are two sides to a story. Over 15 years, my relationship with Sherilyn has been hostile, and I have tried to deal with a narcissist person. Sorry. Not only myself, but close friends of Sherilyn of over 10 years and family members have cut ties with her because of her manic behaviors. I tried to do therapy with Sherilyn, but she always said no and that I am sick, not her. Sherilyn, please tell your side of your character of being drunk on the cruise and having guys
Oh
in your
no.
room, then crying because you think you were R-worded, then demanded us to go to a pharmacy in Bahamas for plan B. Let's pause right there. Now
Okay,
I could see,
you spoke soon about that victim blaming, didn't you?
yeah, she came right out the gate with the, let's
How
talk about
dare
what
you?
you,
So Sherilyn, let's get this straight, is Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
I think she's the second daughter because he has three
But
kids.
but Sherilyn is not Vickie's daughter.
No, Sherilyn is Vickie's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she's the second youngest for Vickie.
Okay.
There is a third daughter that we're gonna get into what she said as well, but right now we're going through like the timing of release from what I could piece together of how all this stuff was released. So the
Mm-hmm.
backlash after this came out, her statement, it got worse as far as the F Vicky. I think someone may have mentioned, I have not checked myself, that after she put out the statement or soon afterwards, she was pulled from the AEW roster page. I doubt that
Who,
happened.
Vicky?
Yeah, supposedly I guess we could check it, but we'll get into that later. Let's finish her response first.
Yes.
All right. Bahamas for plan B.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play dirty and sling Chris and I through the mud. I can play too. That feels like the most in character thing.
I
Are
don't like
you,
it.
and here we go. Are you, I don't like it either. Are you enjoying the car that Chris bought you since you wrecked yours? I am
Mm.
so done with you and tired of the years of your manipulation, lies, and disrespect. I kept quiet for years because you never seek therapy to learn how to have an adult conversation with me. It has always been your way or nothing at all.
Mm.
Okay, Sherilyn, not only will I see you in court, but you and I will no longer be related. For the fans who feel entitled to comment, F you. She wrote out the whole word. You can see it on the screen. You hear one side of a story and you feel entitled to comment on something you know nothing about. Okay, and I definitely don't want to sound like I'm defending anybody here because one, we don't know all of the situation. We can only go by what the rest of the family said, which may shock and
Mm-hmm.
surprise some people with how this is gonna go. I already know, so we'll sit back. It's coming. But man, the victim blaming, this is, I've done all this stuff for you. None of that matters. None of that matters. Like, you should give your daughter the benefit of the doubt because it's your daughter, and you should
Mm-hmm.
go through the fullest of investigating what's going on with her
Mm-hmm.
to make sure she's telling the truth, if she's telling the truth or not. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand being skeptical. You're in love with someone. You lost the love of your life once, and here you are. You finally have someone else. You know, and you married them, and you want this to be the best on point relationship ever. I get that. I totally understand. It's kind of hard to have your world fall apart twice. So her digging her heels in kind of makes sense for where she would be mentally. It's not right.
It's not right. And after you broke it down like that, I could kind of see where that extra hurt would be coming from, because like you said, sometimes people just don't look at the reality, of the situation. Maybe she don't even want to see it. Maybe, I mean, if it did happen, because right now these are all allegations that we know of,
Yeah,
right?
everything's pretty much
Okay.
alleged.
Okay, because I know, because we spoke earlier and I definitely did not do my research today.
You're not
So
supposed to admit that part. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, today they see that it's pre-recorded. They see it's not live. But Vickie still is going to have to look at this situation in a different way, though. I feel as though, because at the end of the day, that's still her child. Like, yeah, your world is falling apart. You lost the love of your life, the father of your children. Boom. Okay, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? That, no one is ever going to be able to fill that hole. And if you really try to put yourself out there, and then now this man turns into a monster, I could, I could see, me personally, I wouldn't make that choice, but I could see why she took this approach of, like, not in a sense of victim blaming, but like definitely taking up for her husband.
Yeah, I just think she went way too hard over. Like
She went too far. I felt like what does the
she,
car have to do with anything?
yeah, the plan. Like you bringing up.
What's up with the plan B? And if she did get art, we're just gonna say creeped.
Yeah,
If she did get creeped, why are you trying to make a mockery of it?
yeah, that part. Like,
Like,
where's
that
the
wasn't
sympathy?
cool.
Where's the
Where's the
sympathy?
sympathy?
Where's the empathy?
Where's
It's your
the
daughter.
empathy? Okay, all right. She probably could have, if she wanted to hit hard, she could have said something about the car. But the crepe one, that's too far. You know.
Yeah.
When you were reading, there were a few sources that popped up that said that AEW took her off their roster.
Okay. It's probably like
Ringside News, Wrestle Talk. I don't know these websites, but
ringside is okay. Sometimes I don't know. Russell Talk is pretty decent, but they get things wrong too.
and then that's it. Oh, WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Oh man, I ain't heard that name in a long time. Let's talk about the rest of the family got into the fray, and because the fans, we're talking about the legendary Guerrero family. Like literally everybody, just about is a wrestler or connected to wrestling in some way or some sort of performance. Like it's more
Oh,
often than not.
Sportskeeda said it too. I'm sorry. I'm still looking at it. I didn't have the date on here. It was showing
No,
me
it's
most
fine.
relevant.
It's fine. So yeah, so you had Eddie, I think his brother
Mhm,
Hector, Chavo.
mhm,
Um, I haven't seen anybody else outside of Chavo, Shaw, which is the older daughter, I believe, and
mhm.
Kaylee. I'll respond to this, and we're gonna read their responses right now.
Okay.
So Shaw,
Is the oldest kid.
I do believe so.
Okay, let me Google.
So let's just talk about what Shaw Guerrero says. So I didn't get like a photo of her, so I'm just gonna do this. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Shaw Guerrero right there. She wrestled for WWE for a second. I think she wrestles for AEW. She's also a burlesque dancer too, if I'm not
I was
mistaken.
about to say she looks like a wrestler.
Oh yeah, she again. Most of their family is. So here's her words of how her relationship with her sister was going.
Raquel Diaz.
All right, here we go. I am deeply saddened at the state of my family. Has been in for years. What my sister stated happened on the cruise was true.
Uh-oh.
She did get SA'd by my stepfather. SA is never okay, and she has every right to talk about it. Was it crepe? No, but it was unwanted touching, which is absolutely unacceptable and traumatizing. So we'll stop right there for now. So right now we have a confirmation from a family member that this did happen in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got anything to add before we keep reading?
It's the it's the confirmation from the sister for me.
Yeah, you know when you get sources like
Now
that.
if your sister, saying it,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to just
it's it's
ignore it.
it's it's very hard to ignore it, and it's also hard to keep on saying it's an allegation.
Yeah, but we're gonna continue to say it's an allegation, and I hope Vicky takes it serious. All right, let's continue reading because I think the rest of her, what Shaw has to say, kind of gives you to the mindset of maybe where Vicky would be coming from a little bit here. Because before I finish reading, because one thing about family issues, speaking from a person who's in a family who has issues sometimes, um, these things can be complicated.
Every family has issues,
Of
It's not,
course,
you know, but these type of issues are the type of things that you hate to see in public.
yeah, and
But
that's
at the
the whole
same time,
thing.
it could bring awareness to other families.
But I think listening to Shaw again, this will probably give more context to the relationship side of things.
Mhm.
And I'm just dissecting how we a little bit, not like in depth, because I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist. Neither am I a journalist. I'm just doing what everybody else is doing and reading and researching a little bit. How we got to the point of maybe Vicky saying she was crying wolf.
Oh,
All right.
that's what she was trying. That's
I
what
think that's what she was trying to
where
convey
she
in
was
her
trying to.
statement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So here we
even
go.
then, that's still not a good look.
No, it's not. But we got to tell it how we see it. All right, here we go. This incident tore an even deeper wedge into our family than what was there before. My mother and sister have had a deeply tumultuous
Tumultuous.
relationship. Same with my sister and I. After this incident on the cruise, we all went into various forms of therapy in order to heal. So there have been therapy here. My sister has led the public to believe we abandoned her after the SA, which is not true. The family went into various forms of therapy, and Mom and Chris helped Sherilyn get on her feet again by helping her financially, as they have done for Sherilyn since she was 22. Does it solve the wounds? Absolutely not. But she was not abandoned after this incident. Now, I didn't play like the entire thing that she said, so it's a longer video. So
Mhm.
there was a lot of things that she was getting off her chest. And a lot of times when we go through trauma and drama, we only see things that happen from our point of view.
From our point of view, very true.
So it's
Very
good to
true.
have
And it's hard
multiple.
to see it from other people's point of view because you're so traumatized.
Yeah, so a little bit of that may be that. Again, not the SA is a whole issue, but it's what I'm
Wait,
trying to say is
whoa, hold on. No, finish your statement because something just came over me just now.
okay. So what I'm saying is the SA is a whole separate issue, but when you have issues, man, they build on each other when you don't solve them. It's just more and more and more. So they're compacting a lot within this one situation.
So, do we know when she was SA? Does it say when she was SA?
It had to be probably after 2015, so it may be a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, maybe four.
2015 is when how long Vicky and Chris have been married?
Yeah.
Since 2015. Okay, so she was more than likely an adult when it happened, prayerfully.
Or she like 20 something now?
Yeah, she's 27. She was born in 95. and 2015 was about 6, 7 years ago. So in your early adulthood, you guys take a cruise, a family cruise or whatever.
Yeah.
Take this trip. You bring this man around your children. You're praying it's safe, and he sexually, I'm sorry, your daughter, and basically, in a sense, it's kind of given. You need to get over this. I'm gonna stay with this man, and we're gonna fund everything for you.
Now
That's what
that
it's
is
kind of given.
you saying that is the vibe you're catching from this.
Yeah.
That is usually, I don't want to say usually, but a lot of times that is a situation that happens with a lot of people in these
As a
situations.
as a woman, how can you stay with a man that did that to your daughter?
That is a loaded question. I'm not a woman, so I can't answer that.
As
But
a
we've
parent,
seen it.
how can you stay with someone that did that to your child?
Mm, that is a very hard thing to just let go of.
It's very hard to let go of. And then you said 2015, only 8 years ago, but dang, only 8 years ago. Some people
Eight
gonna be
years
like,
is a
8 years
long
a long
time.
time ago.
8
8 years
years is
a
a
long time.
long time to be married to
But
somebody
trauma
or with
has
somebody.
but trauma has no time limit. And that's a long time to be with someone. Because me and my
Ideally,
babe been together since 2015. So
ideally, you would want the
but
person to be like, you got to side with your child. That's the ideal. That's what you will hope for. But
yeah, that's the whole point of having a step parent is that they're supposed to protect your child the way you are. They're supposed
true,
to respect them the way you are. They're supposed to look out the way you are. Like,
it's hard to do. Like, do you think about any other situation you've been in where you really love a person and they make a mistake? How people rationalize these things, especially when they have drama and trauma of their own to deal with, and you think you're not
BK,
worthy of fresh love from someone else, so you get it from where you can.
BK.
I'm not excusing Vicky.
I'm
I'm
not
just saying.
excusing her either, and I
I'm
don't want
just saying
to
it's
try
hard
to
to
beat
do.
on her or anything, but and that's realistic, especially with how love changes things for some people. But you did that to my kid. I'm not even a parent, so I can only imagine like if one of my nieces or anything like that happened to one of my nieces or nephews or little cousins or something, and it's like
I agree. If something happened to one of my nieces and nephews, it's on site. I be
I
ready.
don't know. I have always felt very, very strongly, and I feel some violent emotions anytime someone is craped or essayed, you
Yeah.
know. So that's why it's just hard for me to actually quite understand. And I hate to say it like this, but they low key created a monster.
Oh
Like
yeah.
now, all of your family secrets are gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Everything.
The longer it goes on, the more you don't say anything, the more they think they can get away with
I
it.
think I'm going to be
If
sick.
this happened, if this happened, because we still don't really know.
I think I'm going to be sick. And the fact that AEW removed her off of their roster, like it speaks volumes.
Oh well, you're not like the star. I
She's
mean,
not a star.
on the business side of things, you're not the star of the show, so it's
She's
easier.
not the star. It's
You're
easier.
enhancement talent. You're enhancement talent. That was gonna be a given anyway. Oh, this is looking bad. If you're not Dean Ambrose, uh, or MJF, and I don't watch a lot of AEW, but these are the names that rings through the halls of Twitter all the
I
time.
feel like
So
if it was them, that that post would have never been posted. From like
oh no,
you got to make these
no.
choices. Like I don't understand. And then like she like 50 something. Why are you doing this to your kid on the internet?
The more you keep breaking down the things about Vicky, the more I'm telling you why it's easy for her to excuse the behavior or ignore it, or wanting to ignore it and not wanting to know the truth.
And people are gonna be like, but she's grown. The daughter's grown. you're still your parents' children. Like you could be
No,
grown all you want.
no. If her daughter was 35, 45,
I
and
would
this
still
man
be
did that
I
to
would
her, it's
still
still
be
a
saying the same
problem.
thing. I would
It's
still be
it's still
saying
a
the same
problem.
thing. No
So
matter
I mean,
what age you are, it's a problem
yeah,
because
it's an issue.
you did
There,
something that the daughter did not want.
and that's
And
it.
now she has to do therapy.
And now she feels like she had to go to the public to get
Now
the street shaking to make people pay attention.
and then what Shaw was saying, I'm gonna read everything that she said, but it kind of sounds like as well as she was kind of not wanting to pick sides and was trying to come from both sides.
No, she is.
Because she was
She
saying
absolutely doing. She absolutely
how
doing that.
how basically she and Sherilyn, Vicky and Sherilyn have had a tumultuous
There we go.
relationship.
Somebody said it right.
Relationship pretty much her entire life. So my question is, where did all that trauma come from? It could have been losing her dad at a young age. There's
True.
no telling if he if she allowed to if Vicky could stay with this man that SA'd her, what other man has she allowed to do that to her?
Oh.
Period. That's what I'm looking at it as now.
Hmm.
So especially if she has if there's been a history of them having a hard relationship, then Sherilyn, she's the middle one, right?
I do believe so. Technically,
And
she
she might
is.
got that middle child syndrome. Then the baby girl is not from your mom. So what now she's looking at her mom like, why did my dad have to cheat on you? My dad was a
Yeah.
superstar, you know?
And again, like we talked about this before we got on the show. Eddie was looked at as this super great guy. Everybody loved Eddie. And undoubtedly his kids see him as the superhero that everybody else sees him as. Like I think this is the only relationship that I've seen where the family tells the exact same story as everybody that met him. Like in
Yeah,
the wrestling world, you don't get that often,
yeah. No.
So
You're
it's
right.
like,
You're actually right.
I mean, other than Rey Mysterio. All right, here we go.
Right.
In response to my sister saying I left her alone and blocked communications, I don't owe anyone an explanation for the steps I take for my own mental health, but I will defend myself when promoted.
Prompted.
I Oh dang, this the words are so small. Y'all know I wear glasses, right?
You don't see well, they can't see me, but I'm over here on the screen trying to read it.
It was a lot. I said promoted like a bug. And I knew I was saying it wrong. I was like, I'm gonna roll with it because that's what it looks like. Anyway, prompted, you right. My relationship ended with my sister years later. After the SA, I had to block communications after she continued to verbally and emotionally abuse me during arguments. And
Oof.
when I came down to Houston to help her in recovery for her surgery, during that trip, Sherilyn's abuse was so intense. I had, I had to leave her home, which was fine to leave her home alone for an hour so I could try and gather myself. I tried to drive to a show in San Antonio, but was riddled with panic attacks. My husband flew me home and I pulled out of shows because that abuse combined with my already unwell state led me to have some serious suicidal
Ideation.
I cannot read that.
Is that what it is?
Ideation.
Ideation?
Yeah,
What
you're
is
right.
it? Idea? A moment of idea?
Yeah, I guess. Sherilyn to this day uses the fact that I had to leave our argument.
Formation of ideas.
Sherilyn to this day uses the fact that I had to leave our argument as ammunition, saying I abandoned her.
And then on this part, she's even talking directly to her. Sherilyn, I will once again offer to do therapy with you so we can sort out our relationship. Mom has offered the same these past years. As we all know, we need a professional to be in the room if we are going to talk to each other. You have never stepped forward to want to mend the relationship or take us up on therapy, despite us saying we will take care of the details and finances. So So it goes back to what I was saying earlier.
Which part was you saying earlier?
Like they're just trying to sweep it under the rug, force her to be well, and she's working through hurt. She hasn't figured out why she's hurt.
You're not the
You
first
know the
person to
term.
say that today, by the way. I've
You
read
know
comments all day about this.
you know the term. Hurt people hurt people.
Of course.
You know, and I don't want to. People are like, I guess people are going to probably try to call her a victim and everything because of everything that her family is saying about Sherilyn. Why aren't we talking about the SA?
This is true. But what can you say? It's not their story to tell. It's only her
True.
story to tell.
It is only her
So,
story to tell.
but I feel
And like
like,
we said, we didn't watch the rest of the video, so she probably was leaning on her family a lot on that in that
yeah,
she
so they
was
feel
probably
like they had
going
to
in.
defend themselves. Yeah. So they kind of feel like they had to defend. Shaw's response is a lot better than Vicky's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why it's still
Uh,
loaded with moments here and there.
there was a
The
couple of loaded
tone,
clips in there.
yeah, the tone though was a lot better. Like you could get a lot further with Honey than you can with that fire that Vicky came out with. But again,
Yeah,
I get it when you're in the position she in, she feels like she's back into a corner. She got to strike. So that's how she feels. Right or wrong, that's how she feels.
that's true.
Let's let's move on from Shaw because I think she sees herself as the mediator. Let's move on to Chavo. Just to let everyone know, I fully support my cousin, Sherilyn Guerrero, Eddie's daughter, and have been doing so privately in the last couple of years of her struggles. She is a very strong woman for coming forward with the sexual assault as she has suffered. I love you.
I love you, prima. Say it.
I don't want to
Say it with
say
the
it.
accent, prima.
No,
Hey
no, you
yo.
can't do that. You can't
First
say
of
it.
all, you're supposed to say Spanish words with the Spanish accent. I don't know what you're talking about.
We live in America now. That is
So,
wrong.
so
That
I'm
is
gonna say
wrong now.
prima.
No, we're off subject. What do you think?
Hey, shout out to Chavo. Shout
I
out to
mean
Chavo.
that's the second family member to come out in defense of the SA
I
of her
am
saying it's
that.
not an alien.
I am that one for Chavo. I'm on Chavo's side. I am that family member. Everybody wants to turn against Shorty. Oh no, no, no! You're not going to
Huh.
turn. I will not turn against
Hold
you.
on. Shaw didn't turn against her. Shaw is dealing with
No, Shaw is riding the
no.
fence at the moment.
If her story is to be believed that she went through so much with a person, I don't care how much a person is going through something. If you are still holding on to a situation or a group of situations that upset you or that pushed you away from that person, oh, you still gonna be mad. Like I can love
Yeah,
you
you
from a
still gonna
distance,
be
but I'm still
mad.
gonna let you know why I'm mad at you.
And honestly, they might be one of those families that try to force her to be around and things like that just because they're taking care of all the finances, just because they're trying to make it seem like they're helping so much. But if she don't want their help,
But
but
what
they don't
if
want to see her as just a regular person on the street, I guess.
But what if that's just how they are? Like I know a lot of families that just like to have family members around. They don't understand the whole don't push me to doing something I don't want to do. You know, it's a traditional thing. Even to my with my family to an extent, it's like, hey, where you at? You know, they might not
Yeah.
call you for like 5 months, but when the family gets together, they're like, yo, are you gonna be here? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it might be one of those things. I'm just giving the other perspective. The other perspective. That's all. All
No,
right.
I can see it.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
you wrong.
That's right. You bet. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Oh, now I want to call you wrong. Now I can't, but it's hard for me to call people wrong because I'm so understanding.
whatever.
Like I can see a lot of things from different angles,
Yeah.
but that SE, that's something I'm not going to understand. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and until I see, which we're not old, by the way. I just want to say that no one fan podcaster, anybody on the internet is not owed an explanation for this. But I don't want to make striking this is 100% what's happening until I figure out what's happening. So, we could talk about it, but you ain't finna catch me say this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's
Mm-hmm.
get on to this last statement from Eddie's daughter from another
Kaylee?
relationship, Kaylee.
Maybe. Kaylee.
Kaylee, you want to read it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. This will be my only time addressing this subject due to the amount of comments and messages I have gotten. It is not my place to speak on this matter. I 100% stand with Sherilyn. I hope that you all can respect her healing journey and give her the time and space she needs to do so. I will not stand by anyone that makes excuses for not being there for their own flesh and blood as they deal with something that is not only traumatizing but a crime against her. It's not the time for others to start victimizing themselves out of her trauma. Sherilyn has a beautiful right, right, and this the baby girl. Sherilyn has a beautiful soul. She is a woman that holds herself with poise and class. She deserves so much better than how she was treated after coming forth with something that is already so difficult to speak about. We may not speak all the time, but I will never let anyone think for one moment that the things being said about her are okay. I will not let her name be tarnished by people who couldn't be bothered when it mattered. It's so obvious to me that Sherilyn embodies all of who our dad was, and it's very obvious to me those who don't. Dang. Bing, 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 bing,
I,
bing.
I mean, she's not wrong here,
No.
but
And I think that's the thing about the healing process, right?
mhm,
When these traumatic things happen to you, you kind of have to work your way through it. So you have to find ways to talk about it, you
true.
know? And if you can't talk to those people that are closest to you, they're probably telling her, "Get over it. We've done just how they put it on Instagram. Get over it. We've done this, we've done that. You've had therapy. It's been this long. Da 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 da." But she doesn't even feel safe with you guys to talk about it. Now she's getting angry. So of course she's going to find other ways to let that out. My God. That's all I
But
can say.
I gotta play advocate here a little bit. Is it still not fair for them to come out and defend themselves after she brought it to the public?
It's not fair to who? The person in question?
Anyone that responded to her, is it okay for them to respond to her? I get, focusing on one thing, but it sounds like they have offered to get to that point. Like, at what point do the people that the victim is blaming get to be tired of dealing with it? Like, is it ever okay to be tired of it? You know what I'm saying?
It's okay to be tired of it. But I kind of feel like you can't tell them that you're tired of it. You can't be in a way like not coming from a loving place.
Yeah.
No, you can't tell them like you can't sit there and yell at them and tell them, well, I've done X, Y, and Z. Then it's starting to make you feel like, did you only do that because you thought I was going to forgive you faster?
Mm, that's a good point.
Did you do only that to make so I could forgive you on your terms? So that's how I'm starting to look at it. I don't know if it's because I've been traumatized. And me personally, I had to go through a lot of different healing processes. That is just it's just so many questions. Like, how is she really being treated? It kind of already you kind of already could see it through these posts,
Yeah,
you know.
man. But
And then your own mom acting like that. Come on now.
I mean, I get it, man. But I just know that it can be really difficult to deal with something, especially if you're not equipped. Had I not
Mhm.
met people like you and a few other people, but mostly you, I would not even know that I was nowhere near equipped to be dealing with friends and family that was suffering from depression or anything that they have been through, because even now, I get tired and frustrated of hearing stories or giving advice about certain things, it can be tiring, especially when you repeat yourself over and over again. Now, the
Mhm.
difference here between me and them is at the moment I'm tired, I just kind of like, okay,
You
I'm just
gotta
gonna
switch it up
listen.
a little bit.
Yeah,
You got
because
because
I
if you're a
know,
good friend,
yeah, and that's the part that's the hard part about it. It's like you have to be a good friend, and being a good friend is listening sometimes, even though you're tired of hearing it.
but at the same time, and I understand what you're saying, like you can't be that punching bag for them either. But you
No,
have to come from a loving place and talk to that person and have them understand that. Charlene is only, if she was born in 95, she'll only be 28 this year. The human brain isn't matured until you're 25.
yeah,
So there's certain things that just probably didn't even click for her until the past few years. And that's why Chavo said what he said. She's been dealing with a lot of struggles. Like a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people understand that mental change between 25 to 30, 35.
we've discussed this on the show before. It's like once you start rocking
It's
into them 30s, it's like, yo, the Jimmy Neutron thing, when he go through the mind, it feels
I
like
always
that for
I
real.
always talk about this. There's a Medea play. I want to say Medea goes to jail, and Tyler Perry as Medea says, in your 20s, you're supposed to make all these mistakes. You're supposed to question everything. You're supposed to get angry. You're supposed to feel everything. But by your 30s, there should be a light bulb.
Yeah,
There should be something that go ding. And then she just might be going through that transitional period of trying to learn how to let it go. But it's
yeah,
like she's probably had so when you have so much hate and hurt connected to something, it takes you probably double the time to get over it.
yeah. And 25 to 30 is one of the most challenging times of your most people
It's like
life.
it's like second puberty.
Yeah, it feels like that because you got so many emotions going through your head. Who can I trust? Who's a real friend? Who's not a real friend?
Because
Is this relationship real?
you're becoming a true adult. Like the human brain once again does not mature until you're 25. So it's certain things that your brain couldn't even put together until that age.
Yeah, man.
What's that? What is that a line in the Bible? As a child, I spoke as a child. As a man, I spoke as a man. When I was younger, I didn't understand it, but it's like duh. Like that one, it's like
Yeah,
duh.
yeah, it was like the most obvious quote ever. We was out here reading too much into it.
What does that mean?
All right. Oh, you got to stop playing with Mattel Hot Wheels and stuff. That's what it means to us now. But as you can see, you got to stop playing with toys. That's the way they
Oh,
kind
that's
of,
what they were saying. I
I
guess
put away childish things, those type of things.
that's the word. I put away child something. I don't know how the saying go, but whatever.
Well, if God came back and that was the rule, boy, I have broken that one. Uh,
With toys all the time. Okay, you
all
might be
right.
the generation of adults that play with the most toys,
Oh, because
watch
we
the
can
most
afford it.
animated series.
Because we can afford what we couldn't afford as kids. Um, Back on subject here. We are advocates for mental health here. You guys know that. Novacaine just did a whole episode last week about this very subject. So, we hope Sherilyn gets the help she needs and works through everything that she has to work through, as well as the rest of the family, because family has to be together and it can be hard dealing with stuff when your family is disjointed, especially when all you know is a tight knit family or the facade of one at least.
What if they were never tight knit? What if they've always been dysfunctional, like most
I don't
families?
know. I know I could say this now. Me and my family had a falling out at one point, and I missed them every single day.
Aw,
I did,
we.
but I was like, this is I refuse to back down on certain things.
I don't think
So
my stubbornness. I think my stubbornness gets in the way of wanting to miss somebody after we fall out because I feel like I'm such a forgiving and easygoing person that like If we fall out, then bro, you really messed up. Like it ain't got nothing to do with me because I'm going. If I did something wrong, oh, I'm going to be apologetic. I'm going
Yeah.
to say all of my sorries as many times as I can. I'm going to do everything, but I'm not going to kiss your butt. That's something I'm not going to do.
All right, Space Gang. Thank you guys for listening to the episode. We're glad to have you in. I'm glad to be back in the seat again,
Yeah.
Novacaine. I am very proud of you for the
Point.
episode you put forth. It was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. Editing was a breeze that time. So, that's like always A1 for me. But anyway, y'all do us a favor and head over to www.thebkspaceshow.com where you can get all the merchandise and all the episodes and information about our beautiful mugs. Novocaine, let them know what else they got to do for
Head on
us.
over to head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and a written review. Then head over to Spotify, leave us another 5-star rating.
5 stars, please.
Maybe get the 5 stars. Leave us the 5 stars.
Yeah. Anyway, I have been the BK Space here with my very lovely co-host.
Novocaine, baby.
All right, y'all take it easy. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Bum 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 bum. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. That joint crank. I don't care what you say.